Welcome back to section 1. Let's move into the soapbox. Now, we briefly saw the video from this young lady, Vere Khan.
Yeah.
She was a stranded citizen. But let's see it first, and then we'll make whatever comments we have to make afterwards. Let's run the video, please, guys.
Hello there, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Vere Khan, and I have been highlighting the plight of stranded nationals over the last few months. I myself was also a stranded national. I was away studying in England when the borders closed in March. And like everyone else, I thought, okay, this makes sense because many countries around the world are doing the same thing, trying to figure out what's going on with this global pandemic. But then 1 month turned into 2, 2 turned into 3, and then 3 turned into 8. And now here we are, 9 months, November 2020. And thousands of nationals are still stranded and getting no word from the National Security Ministry. People are spending money that they no longer have. People are living off the kindness of strangers. They're going into the winter season in some countries with no money to buy winter clothes, food, housing, heat, and they have no idea when flights would even be running. The process of a stranded national is that you get the notice of a flight maybe within 2 days, and you have to find your way there. To enter Trinidad and Tobago, you don't require a negative PCR test. There's no social distancing on the plane. You're all piled into a bus, so you're more likely to get COVID when you land than if you bring COVID into the country, like what we're being told to the news every day, that the borders are shut to keep everyone safe from stranded nationals. That doesn't sound like the equality of treatment of each citizen. What you're basically telling us is citizens within the borders are more important than citizens without the borders. How does that make any sense? The system does not work, and the system is punishing those who happen to get stranded out of the borders in March, when the borders closed within 2 days. Who can afford a flight within 2 days? Nationals have been suffering for 9 months, and all you can hear is you have to sit tight, you have to wait. Like, we hear your problems, we hear your cries, but people have died waiting to come home. People have been denied their given right to enter their country. This is not proper treatment of citizens, and we haven't heard in 9 months of any plan, any structure. Barbados, Antigua, the Caribbean has opened up, Guyana has opened up. Yet Trinidad and Tobago has remained shut in all ways possible. Yet they are performing as one of the worst in the Caribbean. There is no argument to keep nationals stranded. So I implore everyone, I implore the people of Trinidad and Tobago, tell your government to bring us home. Bring everyone home. I'm home now. I still count myself as a stranded national because I went through it. And there are people who are still going through it with no end in sight. Can you imagine? You're struggling in a foreign country, paying foreign exchange, you have no money left. At this point, you are a stateless refugee because your country does not want you. The mental health stress that you're going through. Nationals deserve better than this. They deserve their human rights to be heard. And this can no longer keep going. This is wrong.
Okay. A passionate video from a young lady who was stranded. It continues. This continues our discussion with our stranded nationals. You see the passion in her voice. You clearly see that she went through some struggles when she was away, when she was stranded. She touched on certain topics in terms of mental health specifically.
Well, two things. Mental health was one, but two very important issues stood out to me. The first thing is obviously the flaws in the system. She indicated that, look, the repatriation system as it is, or the reintegration system as it is, seems to be flawed. You're more likely to catch COVID because you're corralled into a bus with other persons.
Packed into a flight.
Or packed into a flight. So that, I mean, that's shocking to me.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you're saying that this ban, this prohibition, is to protect the population. But on the other hand, you're bringing in people in such a way, you're reintegrating people in such a way where they're likely to have. I mean, it's no wonder that the Minister of Health was saying that it's a high percentage of persons who come in the country. Of course, without any, well, let's not get into that. But the issue is that it doesn't surprise me. If it is, these are the kind of lax arrangements that you're making to reintegrate people, it's a problem. She also raised a very legal issue in terms of equality of treatment. And I have to admit that, it's an interesting argument. A citizen abroad and a citizen in Trinidad and Tobago, there's no real difference
in the rights that are afforded to them.
Apart from locality. So what you're really doing is discriminating against citizens abroad.
Correct.
I mean, you may have justification for doing, you may have a reason, I wouldn't even say it's justification, But at the end of the day,
But
it's unequal,
discrimination is-
it's unequal treatment. And
Correct.
our Constitution talks about equality of treatment before the law and protection of the law.
Her version of events is corroborating the version of events that we had on our last show, Dr. Suhan,
Yeah.
CNAT. It's the same thing. You packed into a bus, you shipped off into a plane where you're packed up, and there is no PCR test. Now let's get into that now. Yesterday's press conference, we had the Honorable Minister of National Security stating that, look, now they're implementing something new where you have to have 72 hours a PCR test done before. Once it's negative, you're allowed to fly back in. It's a new system. He went into talking about comparing the numbers coming in, the individuals coming in to the number of applications dated in July 29th.
To be honest, I got confused. I don't understand the justification. I don't understand the methodology that he's trying to apply. At the end of the day, if we have one citizen stranded abroad who is unable to get back home, there is a problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter however you twist the figures and twist statistics. You can make statistics into anything you want. At the end of the day, we have a real problem with citizens who are stranded abroad who need to get back home. And you need to tell us, don't just tell us that you're going to set up a committee, or tell us what you're doing to increase the flow of citizens
coming back
who need to get back home, getting them back home. Tell us what you're doing, what measures you're taking.
Yeah, no, I mean, he would have indicated that the numbers are low. However you want to twist figures, the figures are there. We have so much messages coming in. We have, on our show, we had 2 young ladies who, to our knowledge, is still stranded away.
Yeah. And the numbers are low in relation to what? In relation to citizens in Trinidad and Tobago? I don't understand it. There is a significant amount of people who are stranded abroad. That's the point.
Well, he's seeking to add on numbers that are people who are trying to come home for Christmas.
I am not about gerrymandering figures.
Correct.
At the end of the day, if there are people stranded who want to get back home, that means constitutional rights are being violated.
Correct.
And we need to get that done.
Yeah, correct. And we need to continue this discussion because, look, if there are new measures being put in place, fine. That is the administration's policy. But let's bring our people back home.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you see it. This young lady would have had stranded for 8 months.
Yeah.
You see the passion in her voice. She's saying, look, bring our brothers and sisters back home. Because we cannot continue to live there. She touched on the money issue, the finances issue. Their resources are dwindling. Some people are now living home to home. Some of them, they may be homeless very soon. Or of generosity. How long does that generosity last?
Exactly.
So what we will do,
take some calls,
can we take a very, very short break? And we will take 5 minutes
of your promise our viewers
to call.
We'll take some calls.
So we are taking calls. The numbers are
663-2335. Yeah. We're going to take a break and then going to take some calls. So get ready to call in.
Yeah.